Assassin's Creed Shadows has now been out for about a week, and it's time to be able to tell, is it worth buying? Is it as fun as previous generations? Is it better? Or is it gonna get that same lackluster review from the last version? Well, in this video, we're gonna dive into gameplay, we're gonna talk about the two assassin modes, as well as the main story and the side quests that you can do, and is it worth your money, and how fun is this game? Set in Japan in the late 1500s, during a time of war, famine, and change, you experience life as both a powerful samurai and a stealthy ninja. And if you like sword fights along with beautiful, breathtaking scenes, this RPG is definitely worth looking into. The story follows two main characters, Yasuke, who is a strong and skilled samurai, and Naoe, a deadly shinobi who is a ninja. Yasuke is built for direct combat, who takes on enemies head-to-head with power moves and attacks. Naoe is your fearless shinobi and is all about sneaking past enemies and for getting up and around structures that don't have stairs. The game itself is centered around real-life historical events throughout the 1500s in Japan, and there's even a new mode where you can build your own base, kind of like The Sims in real life. You can do things like adopt animals, build out your shelter, and have fellow heroes join your team. There's also an area where you can do blacksmithing, which is definitely important in this game, and you're going to come back and keep visiting here as you progress through the main story campaign. So how is Shadows different from the other Assassin's Creed games? It still holds its classic elements from the past games like parkour, open world exploration, but it has also introduced features like now having those two playable characters, and honestly it's really cool if you want those big, tough, muscular missions, you have Yasuke, and then for those ninja ones you switch to Naoe. And another really cool feature in this one is the seasons. Every 2.5 hours the seasons change, and they've actually done such a good job. It's no longer just an area you go up north, that area is always snow. The whole map changes, so when you're in autumn you get to see leaves falling from the trees. In winter you see dynamic snow everywhere, so that's really cool. And then as these seasons change and reset into a new season, as does the environment and quests and things like that. The environment also affects how NPCs operate. So if it's a really big rainstorm, the NPCs will actually have a hard time seeing you, so you can be more stealthy. But if it's a bright sunny day and you're in a meadow, well, of course they're gonna see you that way. NPCs react to what you do, making the world feel more alive. You can see farmers going about their day or guards investigating if they notice something suspicious. And in the wintertime, you have to be careful climbing ledges, because if you knock over an icicle, the guards will actually come and investigate. If you're new to Assassin's Creed, expect a mix of action, stealth, and exploration, kind of similar to how you have to be stealthy in The Last of Us or the original Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six series. Early in the game, you'll have access to training areas to get used to the combat and stealth mechanics. You will also be introduced to shrines where you can pray to get temporary boosts like extra health or stronger attacks. So then how does the gameplay work? Well, other than that awesome open world exploration and the side quests, the game is really brought down into two main components. One, that all-out assault combat, and then two, being stealthy. If you prefer intense sword fights, Yasuke is your go-to. He uses powerful strikes, blocks, and counters to take down enemies. Also, another important thing to note before you buy a game like this is the bosses. Some games have very dynamic bosses where it almost seems like the NPCs have some type of extra intelligence and can adapt around you or do different combos, whereas in Assassin's Creed, they've kept it more of that classic. So if you like those fresh, updated battles where bosses are really different and dynamic, unfortunately, we don't see it in this game yet, but maybe it's something that they can add in a patch in the future. Then if you like stealth and ninja tactics, Naoe is definitely your go-to pick. And what makes Naoe such a cool pick is not just the stealthiness, you get to use all those cool ninja items that you've seen in past lore. She can also move quietly, hide in the shadows, and take out enemies without being seen. PC players can jump on the game with Ubisoft Connect, and it's available to play on PC, PS5, PS5 Pro, and Xbox Series X. So now the final question, is Assassin's Creed Shadows worth your money? Well, at the end of the day, this isn't a game that is an absolute yes or an absolute no. If you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed series or stealthy games in general, you're definitely gonna love this one. It's a little bit interesting how with the side quests and the campaign, they haven't really built it up where you need to be doing X amount of the campaign, then side quests, and then back to campaign. It's more of like you can really do most of the solo campaign and then do the side quests later. And because they just released the game, unfortunately there's still some bugs, so you can't complete some of the side quests and things like that. So I'm sure they'll fix that over time. time. I think the biggest drawback is when fighting the bosses, because they haven't made them dynamic, it's almost, I would say, too simple. Even if you bump up your difficulty up to expert, it's still a little bit too easy for an Assassin's Creed franchise like this. In 2025, there really should be some type of dynamic NPC play. We know there's AI agents and so many AI features getting put into other games, so I don't know if this is we have to wait for the next title or it'll get released in a patch release, but it just feels a little bit too basic for 2025. But at the end of the day, if you're a type of person who's on the fence or you need to save money, you don't know if you should go into a game, you don't really have to buy this one. You could wait for the next big blockbuster game. Or at the end of the day, if you just want to have a bit of fun and you don't care that this game isn't the best it could be, you're still going to have fun for that 100 hours or whatever you invest into this game. If you're new to Fungible Games, we put out many style videos. We got quick overviews like we have with this one. We have in-depth walkthroughs, we have beginner guides. We also interview project and game founders. So if you want Easter eggs on some of your favorite games, you can definitely check it out there. We also have a full website where you can check out in-depth game reviews, breaking news stories, and also a community review session if you want to see that type of content. And if you enjoy playing with the community itself, we have a fun shooting game coming up very soon called Neon Heroes on the 26th of March. So if you want to check that out and play with us, definitely participate in the comments below and follow along on X, where we'll tell you when we're going to have these playtests.